Welcome back to Peace, Love and Tarot. This reading is for Aquarius, Sun, Moon or Rising. And Aquarius, this is your weekly intuitive tarot reading for March the 30th to April the 5th. This week we have the Align Your Life Oracle card. We have the Five of Pentacles, the Eight of Swords, the Knight of Cups, the Nine of Swords, the beautiful Sun energy, and the High Priestess as well. So, guys, we are in a crazy time at the moment. The world, we're in crisis. And I can see that in the cards here that some of you might be facing a sense of hardship. There is stress, there is anxiety around. But the message that is coming up for me as I pulled your cards is this too shall pass. And that message was coming through for me in my mind just before the Sun card popped out. Yes, we are going through a hard time, but I feel that when we get on the other side of what we're going through in the collective at the moment, we're actually going to be in a better place. I feel like we are having an awakening. And yes, we probably are going to have a recession. We probably are going to be doing it hard financially. But I feel this is a shift for humanity. We are pulling together. There's a greater sense of humanity. There is a new beginning on a macro scale here. And then that is always reflected on an individual level as well. I'm really not surprised to see the Align Your Life Oracle card here, because this, what we're facing at the moment, and the fact that we are, most of us are on lockdown and being, forced to slow down and pause. A lot of us are looking really hard at our lives, and where we've invested time and energy, some of us might have been consumed by materialism or by, chasing good-looking people, or working in a job that we're unhappy with, but we, got great money. We're really being called to look at what truly matters and what is truly meaningful for us, and to align our lives with that, because that is the key to happiness, and that is the key for us to, evolve energetically and spiritually as well. So that's what I'm seeing as the theme that's around at the moment. So I'm going to kick off by reading out the Oracle card for you guys, then we'll go to the tarot. So what is not aligned and needs to change? What in your life is no longer in alignment with who you truly are? We're cyclic beings in a constant state of change, of evolution, of growth. Change is one of the only certainties of life. When you resist your cyclic nature, you resist life and feel stuck. Many of us have learned to be who the world wants us to be, but there comes a time when it is harder to hold on to this facade than it is to embrace who we truly are, to surrender to how we have changed and align life to that way of being. If you pull this card, you are being called to let go of who you once were, all the things that once defined you, the job, the relationship, and the mask you wore, and to embrace who you truly are now. Wow, I mean, a lot of us are going through a period where we're being stripped of those things that built some sense of maybe in false identity for us. A lot of people through this virus crisis that we're in are losing jobs, and the stress of that could cause relationships to break down. Anything that's on a shaky foundation, those towers are falling. But what is behind that is an opportunity for us to align to our true self, our higher self, our authenticity. And through that, that's when we actually live a far greater life. So we're going through purging on a grand scale at the moment. So let's start here, guys, with the Five of Pentacles and the Nine of Swords. So I can see that some of you are, deeply worried about what we're facing at the moment. The Five of Pentacles can be financial hardship, and obviously there will be some of you that are watching this reading that have lost jobs, who are worried about money. That Five of Pentacles really can be that sense of lack, being worried about being in lack. It can be feeling a little bit hard done by, and many of us are, losing a lot through this. But what we have to keep in mind is that if we do get stuck in that kind of victim mentality, in that lack mindset, we energetically do lower our vibration, and we often do attract more of that, and lack breeds lack. Where possible at the moment, we need to keep our energy high. And I'm not talking about, being in a state of denial or just going around being super happy when we are facing a crisis. But if we can just stay positive, if we can have hope and faith and look on the brighter side where we can, that's when we kind of keep a healthy energy field, and that's when we keep our immunity high as well. Obviously we have that with the Nine of Swords, which is the stress, the anxiety, the worry, the keeping up at night, worrying about our mortgage, our rent, and all of that. I understand that some of you might be in countries where there isn't financial assistance. Guys, we just have to reach out to our community in that situation if we can, to friends and family, and just do our best to cut down our expenses and that kind of thing. We really, really do need to pull together. That's the only way we can get through all of this. The Five of Pentacles, it talks about the fact that we need to see the bigger picture here. I mean, these people here who are, wounded and without the right clothing and footwear and hungry and no bed for the night and all that sort of thing, are passing the refuge of the church. They're passing that Hierophant. But they don't even see it because they're consumed by their misery. They're consumed by the lack. So we need to open our eyes. We need to see the bigger picture. We need to have that hope and faith, because when we see the bigger picture, we realize that we are just going through a global shake-up, a wake-up call, a judgment, and that this too shall pass. So we're in a state of conflict at the moment on the macro scale and to the micro individual scale. But, number 5 is not only the number of conflict, but it's the number of change. This is coming in because we need change at a global scale to survive as a species, long term. And the Tower is the biggest card of change in the tarot. The universe is giving us a massive Tower moment here because we've ignored the soft tickles with a feather along the way. We've just carried on our own, man's hedonistic path, and now we're getting the Mack truck. And then that obviously is affecting us on a micro personal level with our work and our, where some of us have had to lose our homes or relocate back to, family or home countries and things like that. But we have to keep in mind that this too shall pass. But at the moment, many of you may feel in the thick of it, but we have to keep the bigger picture in mind, guys. Yeah, I mean, not surprised to see the Eight of Swords here following on from that. I mean, the Eight of Swords is that feeling of being stuck. Many of us are going to feel stuck at the moment, and we're being forced to pause and to actually be stuck in our homes, a lot of us. And that can make us feel, obviously, that we are, in our own prison. For some of us, that can be a bit of a mental prison of anxiety. Here in the Eight of Swords, we see somebody who, again, is in that sense of being in that victim mentality. So we have to keep positive, guys. And we don't want to get overconsumed by, the emotions that we might be feeling, because that shuts down our intuitive centers. You can see here the person is bound around their third eye, their heart, and their gut. And, for me, that just shows that we can be disconnected from our higher self. So if possible, we need to stay connected, meditate, tune in. And, that's when we see that actually there is a clear path out of this situation. This too shall pass, but we just cannot see it at the moment, guys. We just can't quite see it. And the key really is, like I said, is to trust our intuition. The High Priestess here is, calling you to connect with those intuitive centers. The High Priestess too can be a revealer of truth, of mysteries. So I feel like, for a lot of us, this big Tower moment that we're facing is really, bringing things up to the surface, bringing things that are, in the shadows to the surface. It's calling you to go deep and to really connect with your intuition through this process of aligning your life, because behind the darkness is the light. Behind all of this barrier is that new beginning that we see here. I mean, I haven't actually showed you this, guys, but the Fool was at the bottom of the deck. There is a new beginning for you here, but it's just behind all of this, these blockages that we see here. This is the pathway out. So, there is strong new beginning energy here for you. So in the near future, we see the Knight of Cups and the beautiful Sun energy, and of course we can include the Fool in that as well. So look at this, guys. Nothing's really quite as positive as this group of cards together. Now, the Sun is the most positive card in the tarot deck, guys. It really says that everything is going to be okay. The Sun is going to come out. The Sun might look like a card of just all innocent and abundant and joy and harmony. But you know, this baby here has broken through this brick wall, has broken through barriers, has come through the dark side, and is shown as a baby because it's a sense of rebirth, of being vulnerable, you know, starting a new chapter now. So some of you might, you know, be going through times of release, and you might be feeling that way at the moment. But it is the card of promise, of positivity, of, you know, cleansing, healing, and rebirth. And we have the Knight of Cups here, and yeah, I'm not really feeling the whole knight in shining armor meaning of this card right now. What I'm really feeling is that there is an emotional new beginning here for you in the future. There is, you know, new joy, new love, new fulfillment, healing on this new path, right? But it's just going to be a little bit of a journey to get to this path. But we just need to make sure that we release what's standing in our way, which can be the fear, you know, the fear, the insecurity, the victim mentality, and all of those sorts of things. We have to trust in this journey on a global scale, on an individual scale, that even though we don't know what's going to happen in the next few months or the next 6 months, we don't have control of it. So all we need to do is trust in the journey and have hope and have faith. And we are being guided somewhere. And I feel like, you know, sorry about that, guys, flat battery right at the end. Just saying that I do feel that this new path that is emerging behind this tower is leading humanity into a better place. But first, obviously, we need to go, you know, we need to go through this. There's no way around it. There's no way around this brick wall. We've got to go through it like this baby, but we are being reborn as a collective and as individuals as well. Okay guys, I'm going to end the reading there. I do wish you all the best with whatever you might be facing during this difficult time. You know, it's a general reading, guys. It won't be for everyone, but I just feel like the readings at the moment are very collective anyway, very reflective of what's going on at the moment. Do feel free to leave me a comment, or we can start, you know, a bit of a community chat if anyone needs support or anything like that. Yeah, I'm going to see you guys right back here next week for another reading.